Our first story is one that every parent watching will understand. It's about a very sick child, a boy who might not be alive today if it weren't for his parents' love and prayers, and a series of events that can only be described as miraculous. During the evening of January 2nd, 1999, the worst blizzard in 20 years hit the small town of Shirley, Illinois.
The winds reached 20 to 30 miles an hour. We had 14 plus inches of snow. And out in the country, that got the drifts up to anywhere from 3 to 4 feet in height.
The next morning, Jeff Elliott, his wife Ruth, and their children, Jennifer and Eric, all pitched in to dig out from the storm.
It's had to happen sometime.
We started shoveling. Then the more we shoveled, the more Eric became tired.
Eric Elliott hadn't been feeling well for several days, and the physical exertion was beginning to take its toll on him.
We shoveled, and it took us about 4 hours to get the whole job done. And we kept noticing that Eric would have to catch his breath.
Back inside, Eric's condition didn't improve.
I noticed that Eric didn't seem quite right, so I walked up to him, and when I had him turn around and look at me, I noticed that his eyes looked really funny.
Oh my God. Jeff, come here a minute.
That's when he began to tell me that his vision was going and that he didn't feel quite right at all.
Take a look at his eye.
He had suffered with headaches the whole entire week, and I knew that it was something very serious at that point.
No. It was just his left eye.
Ruth phoned a doctor and described her son's strange symptoms.
We'll bring him in right away.
Something was terribly wrong. The hospital was only 10 minutes away, but as Jeff attempted the 1-mile drive to the main highway, he quickly discovered that it wouldn't be easy.
The first quarter mile was fine, but as soon as the road opened up to where the wind was hitting it, the drifts were really good size. With each drift that we hit, we slowed down a lot, to the point where we slid into one large drift that was over the tires and up to the fenders of the truck. I put it in drive, put it back in reverse, put it in drive, and I could not get the wheels to even move. I'd been buried before up in the mountains in the snow, and I realized that it was pretty serious.
Now, hopelessly stuck, Eric's condition continued to deteriorate.
It was, at that point, a pretty helpless feeling, wondering whether or not we could even get him to the hospital.
In a moment of desperation, Jeff used his cell phone to call home.
Hello? Hi.
When Jeff called me and he didn't know if they could make it through the snow, I just fell apart. I was a basket case.
What are you going to do?
I tried to calm her down.
Ruthie, listen, I don't need your
Told her
tears
that
right now.
one of the things that would help us most of all right now would be just her prayers.
Okay.
We'll do the same.
I love you.
It was at that time that Jennifer and I just sat face to face on the sofa, hand to hand, and we just prayed with all of our heart. As I was praying, I wasn't thinking of anything, but all of a sudden I had a vision of these angels pushing the truck.
At that same moment, Jeff made one last attempt to drive out of the snow.
I stepped on the gas, and it felt like we were being pushed by a Mack truck. The power was incredible. We continued on down the road, just hitting drift after drift and not getting stuck. And I realized that something unusual had happened, but I wasn't quite sure what at that point.
By the time they arrived at the hospital, Eric was barely conscious.
My son needs to see a doctor. His name is Eric Elliott.
I'll get one.
Thank you.
He was immediately rushed into MRI for a brain scan.
This is the bottom part of the brain, the cerebellum. It looks to me like he's got some kind of abnormality there.
As the technicians studied the results, another miracle took place. Dr. Keith Katner, a world-renowned brain surgeon, passed by.
I happened to be walking by the MRI, and I noticed there was some activity back there.
Is this the patient that's in there right now?
So curiosity, I went back there to take a look.
Have we ordered a contrast view on him yet?
Not yet.
All right, we'll need to order that immediately.
I could see on his face that he saw something on the screen that concerned him.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kapner.
Jeff Elliott, what's going on?
I'm afraid the MRI has detected a tumor in your son's head.
The brain tumor was in the backside of his brain, compressing upon the brain stem, and that controls ability to breathe, respirations, awareness, and you damage that brain stem and it could be irreversible coma.
When he said it was a massive tumor, I just felt my throat just drop into my stomach.
We're going to have to operate on him almost immediately, within the next 24 hours. I can put a medical team together. I will perform the surgery myself. Are you okay?
Yes, let's do what we have to do.
All right.
With little time to spare, Jeff made the hardest phone call of his life.
Hi, Ruthie, it's me. We're at the hospital.
It was just a lump in my throat. I couldn't even get the words out to tell her that, how do you tell her that your son has a massive tumor?
They're getting him ready for surgery now. You and Jennifer are going to have to come down here any way you can.
I thought about all the things that meant so much to him, and that he may not get to do any of the things that he wanted to do anymore, even if he lived.
Jeff stayed by his son's side while his wife and daughter rushed to the hospital.
There is a chance that something could go wrong.
He showed so much courage, I couldn't believe it.
I'm ready, Dad.
Here I am, I'm sitting here thinking, he's the one who's got to go through everything, and he's got more courage than I do.
During the next 7 hours, Dr. Katner and his team attempted the delicate task of removing Eric's tumor.
The biggest risk of doing surgery, from my standpoint, was that I would do a perfect surgery and have Eric die on the OR table just because alleviating that pressure on the brainstem suddenly. Anything can happen when you do that. Equally bad risk is if you do the surgery and then Eric doesn't wake up and he's comatose.
While Dr. Katner fought to save Eric's life, his parents, along with friends and family, held a prayer vigil nearby.
The room was full of people from church that came out to support us. It was overwhelming.
He had 227 visitors that came in a blizzard to see us in the hospital and spend time with us. And words cannot say how much that support had meant to us.
And soon, their prayers were answered.
Oh, yes. He's all right.
He was giddy. He was so excited. You could tell that he was just as surprised, and it was such an exciting moment.
I'm certainly not ever going to deny that miracles don't occur, because I really do think that sequence events I couldn't explain by science.
As we reflected back on the circumstances that got us to the hospital, we saw several miracles, not just one, but several. The blizzard itself was a miracle, because had we not have gone out to shovel the snow, Eric might have gone to sleep and never have woken up.
Oh my God. Jeff, come here a minute.
When we were stuck in that snowdrift, I've been stuck before, and you just don't get out of something like that. I've never felt power like that after being stuck like that. Miracle number 3 was, why would Dr. Kettner come down to the basement in a blizzard when the whole town was shut down?
Is this the patient that's in there right now?
And yet, he sticks his head around the corner and completely takes over the situation.
He's all right.
There are miracles, and miracles do exist today. And I believe they exist for a lot of people. We had so many that took place in that 1 week, and especially the vision of the angels. That's something I'll never forget the rest of my life.
Jeff Elliott mentioned 3 miracles, but there's a 4th one as well, and that's Eric Elliott himself. He joins us now with his family from their home in Shirley, Illinois. Hey, everybody, it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you, Richard.
So how are you doing, Eric?
Great. I'm in basketball right now, and I'm playing golf and baseball and just doing everything that I was doing before the tumor.
Oh, that's terrific. Have there been any residual effects from the surgery?
Well, Dr. Kettner believes that there's a little piece of the the original tumor still left in there, but it's not harming him in any way. But they'll keep monitoring it every 6 months with MRIs. But up to this point, it's left him completely unaffected.
But the experience obviously affected you, Eric.
It drew me closer to all my friends and family, and learned that the power of prayer really does work.
I think one of the things that we've learned also, in addition to that, is just how close we've become as a family, and then how many friends we really do have out there who have supported us through all this. It's been really great.
Well, it's been really great talking to you, and I want to wish you all the best of luck. Thanks for being with us.
Okay, thank you,
Richard.
Bye.